Hey guys, welcome to the Save Session, the sessions you always want to save, and Kiwi is just so excited for today's topic, aren't you? I'm TJ.
And this is BJ.
And this is Kiwi. Say hi, Kiwi. Kiwi, say hi. Aw, she's too nervous to say hi.
Wants to play.
She has want to play. Hey, and speaking of playing, we've played a lot of games, and we've had a topic that's been brewing for a minute, and it's just some of our favorite boss fights. Most games have a boss fight. I know, Kiwi, it's so exciting. But every game has some form of boss fight or some important character you have to fight. And what boss fights were the absolute best to us? What were boss fights we liked? And you know what, Bruce? Let's have you kick it off.
Okay. So
Tell me all about it, Bruce.
I'm gonna start off with a very niche game.
Niche, okay.
It was actually mentioned in the top 5 videos because it's Ozra's Wrath. There's 2 fights specifically. I would say his name's and he has like the same gold armaments wrapped around his arm. He taught him how to fight and all that stuff. But then when they're fighting each other, it starts off like them in a hot spring, chilling out, no words exchanged. Little teacup floats by. Next thing you realize, they stand up. 5 minutes later, they're on the moon, about to scrap.
Like, it's one of those, like, it's cool, but we both know what's about to happen.
Yeah, because it was like the calm before the storm, completely like in an image right there. Because they go from to stand straight up.
Just
like that.
Let's relax one final time before what needs to be done gets done.
Yeah, and the little fight beforehand, actually, it starts in kind of like a funny way because there's a system in Ozra's Wrath where you can shut your opponent up, right? The opponent starts ranting about like something, arbitrary thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I used to remember when you was my trainee. You couldn't even punch a rock into smithereens or pebbles. And there's an option where you can be like, shut him up, immediately go in for the punch. But in this game, you do it, right? And he punches you back. And you're like, no one ever punches you back and like stands up afterwards because you're Ozra, first of all. And then it just proceeds to be
Like,
the
it's
greatest
like One Punch Man, he finally finds his opponent. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I see
It's
what
like
we're
the
rocking
dude
with.
when he had the unbreakable armor that could take any hit, but just to find out it couldn't take.
Boros.
Yeah, and couldn't take a single hit from him.
Yeah.
Just smothered. And then like the next fight is Chakravartin. He's God in that universe, and it's literally
I thought they were all gods.
No, he is God.
And the lore you just had to piece together by yourself.
Absolutely. And it's kind of silly too because I don't like, on top of not explaining it, you learn about it, but you probably learn about it incorrectly just to find out the DLC that you have to pay for, by the way, tells you, and it's still wrong, basically. So it's a consistent adrenaline rush of anime that you can play that is just balls to the wall, gas, no brakes. Matter of fact, the brake lines were cut 20 years ago.
And the gas is consistently going, like you can't stop it.
Duct tape down.
I had a Malibu, like a 1997 Malibu that would just, I had to lean on the brakes because for some reason it would keep auto accelerating and I didn't know what was wrong with it. So eventually I had to get rid of it. And you're saying that's basically that game, except just without the brakes to keep it from stopping.
And then like the outer trim of that car is just gold, but everything is still the same color. Just the outer trim is gold and it grows more doors the angrier it gets. And
Dang. I was assuming one of your favorite boss fights is going to be like what everyone has seen probably. Even if you haven't seen Ozra's Wrath, you've probably seen that, where it's like that giant guy, like that looks like a sumo or one of those, what do you call them, those like voodoo dolls that you like rub the tummy of it?
His name's Goma, but I don't remember what he's
That's also a Legend of Zelda boss, fun fact.
Really?
Yeah, Goma. He's like, it's like a big spider thing. I keep forgetting you have arachnophobia. My bad. But I thought you were gonna bring up the guy that he like grows as bigger than the earth and just goes.
That is a very iconic. Honestly, and that's only in chapter 1, but there's at least 5.
That was chapter 1.
Yeah, that was chapter 1. That was the second to last episode in chapter 1.
Yeah, and he Like Osborne's like he takes a power stance and just goes.
That whole fight is very iconic to the game franchise for sure, but it's like
Because that's like that's almost like the first thing almost anyone sees about Azra. It's a man who has like 6 arms, and then a dude that's just coming down to just squash him with a finger, and he goes, you know what? Nah, screw you. Bah, 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 bah. And then he punches him so hard, and his punches are so powerful, he kills him somehow through punching his finger too much. And
Yep,
this
that's a
whole
lot of
thing just
kinetic
starts
force.
dissolving.
yeah.
It's like, he's that strong? Jesus.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how he won the death battle. How he lost the death battle, actually.
Yeah, because he, killed the creator of his entire universe very, very effectively, by the way. Which is, the mini games involved in that are so fun too. Like, it's one of those games that is absolutely primarily quick time events. When all the cool stuff happened, it's a QTE. And if you don't like QTEs, that's understandable. But that was like one of the really appealing things about it. That's what made the game feel more like an anime, except for when
And
you
the bosses
actually
just
play.
made you feel like that.
Yeah, because like you can talk about All Might fighting All for One all you want, or you can talk about Naruto and Sasuke's final fight.
So it just
Death
gives you the
Valley.
feeling of it.
Yeah, like Chakra Vartan was end all be all. This is it. All gas, no brakes. We got nothing left to lose. You took everything. All I got is these hands, and they're rated E for just you. And all that because he was like, I created you. Your purpose was to be angry. Your daughter's purpose was to cry, to be a puppeteer, to make all of my soldiers stronger. And then the minute he said that, all he heard was, so it was you. It was you who made my daughter cry. I'm gonna kill you. But yeah, all because of his anger is just because people made his daughter cry.
That's a good dad.
Yeah. Dad of the year.
Like that Family Guy clip. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, that was like honestly really and the best part about it is it was a final boss that actually felt good to defeat. Because I don't know, a lot of final bosses in some games recently, the final bosses have not been entertaining.
Yeah, so some of them have been a little lackluster. Like, I just played Resident Evil 9. Again, I've mentioned it before, 10 out of 10 will go into detail at a later date. But was the boss of almost every Resident Evil game? It's just some big, giant monstrosity that you always have to kill by finding the weak spots. And after a while, it's like, that's cool. But at the same time, you do kind of wish for some more. Hey, that's why there's that spider boss fight. Remember I showed you a little clip of that?
Yeah.
But in terms of a boss fight, I actually enjoyed. I'll get to my absolute favorite here later in this video. But one of them that I enjoy is a good Ganon fight from Legend of Zelda. Specifically, there are quite a few of them. But go ahead.
How many? So before we started, you mentioned that there's Ganon and there's Ganondorf, right? So
Yes.
are there like
different
entities?
Technically, kind of yes. You see, in the beginning, there is this evil king named Demise, an evil god and evil king named Demise, and he was sealed away just because, he's bad, and the goddess Hylia helped seal him away. And then he had a plan, knowing he's powerful enough, eventually he's going to escape. So they created the Skyward Sword, which housed an ancient, almost AI entity named Fi that would help the main hero gain the power to turn it into the true Master Sword and forever try and either kill or seal him away. But at the end of the game, you actually kill him. Everyone expected Ganon or Ganondorf, but no, it was a character named Demise. And before he died, he laid a curse on Zelda, and that was a loud pop.
What?
That was a loud pop.
Oh.
It's like even you're getting ready to whoop some ass. But no, what was my point with that? Oh yeah, he basically cursed them, Link and Zelda, saying, from now on until the end of time, a reincarnation of my hatred will forever follow you and your kind. And that was in 2011, which was Skyward Sword, which was the furthest back in the timeline we had gotten. So every single time you find Ganon or Ganondorf, that was technically a reincarnation of Demise's hatred. So Ganondorf is a human form. Reincarnated was basically the birth of Ganondorf, who is the first male Gerudo born in Gerudo in years. And in Gerudo, once you're born a male, you are automatically king because it's very rare for a male to be born Gerudo. So
is that why that's what made him an interesting boss fight?
Well, no, that's not what made him interesting. What made him interesting, well, in Ocarina of Time, it wasn't his introduction. He's been in the games before, but basically he used the Triforce to take over the entirety of Hyrule. But then the Triforce one ran away and was put in Zelda, the Triforce of Wisdom, and one was put in Link, the Triforce of Courage, because they were both. Link is basically Hylia's chosen warrior, because he's full of courage. Like, he's just a normal human about to go, basically fight a demon god, who is Ganondorf. But once he gains the power of the Triforce, the Power Triforce, see what I did there? He gains the power of the Power Triforce. I know, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. I think Ganondorf was actually introduced in Ocarina of Time. I could be wrong about that because I think before you were always fighting Ganon, that's the evil giant pig god that you always see. That is Ganon's true form. The Ganondorf is when he's human. Ganon is when he's, in his true giant pig form.
So which one is a better boss to fight, though?
Which one? That depends because in most games you fight both. You fight him as a human, and then in some way he turns into a big pig monster. Not always. Like in Wind Waker, you fight Ganondorf, but he never transforms into Ganon. So I'd say the best one, in my opinion, I know Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was in my top 5. That's actually, for me, that's interchangeable between that and Twilight Princess, because the bosses in Twilight Princess, all of them are just so good. I just love that formula of going through a dungeon, because that's what I thought video games were for a time. Go through a dungeon.
Dungeon crawler?
Well, not just dungeon crawler. You go into a dungeon, an area that you solve puzzles, you do all these things, you fight other enemies, fight a mini-boss. Then usually you get an item from that mini-boss, and then you use that item on the main boss later on. But in something like... that's always the formula of Zelda games, and it's worked for a while. But my favorite one would have to be Twilight Princess Ganon fight. Then there are 4 phases to this boss fight. Like either 4 or 5, I'll have to remember. One, you fight Zelda as a puppet that's possessed by Ganon, and you have to basically, volleyball an energy attack back and forth till eventually she's beaten, and you can, bring the curse out of her, bring the possession out of her, and then Ganon turns into a full beast and turns into his Ganon form. Well, Ganondorf turns into Ganon. And then you turn into usually a wolf, or I've seen you can do it with an arrow. You can shoot his head into an arrow, put him on the side, and attack a scar that was within him because the sacred sages stabbed him, but he was so strong it didn't kill him. But it left a permanent scar, a permanent weakness for him to have throughout the game. But then after you do that, in the third phase, you think you killed him after that. Nope, he's still alive. He is just one tough bastard. You fight him in a field where Zelda gets all of the lake spirits, and she basically gets the ability to have light arrows, which usually are given to Link, but in this one, Zelda holds them. You're riding on horseback while she shoots him, and then you hit him on horseback. It was their thing, I think, to try and mainstream horse combat, but horse combat in most games kind of sucks, and that's just the unfortunate reality. Because in horses, you can't fully control it. But then, after you do that, he stops you, he hits you off your horse, he blocks Zelda and your horse from getting in with a big arena, and he goes, enough, this is me and you now. He grabs the sword that the sages stabbed him with, And then it's just a full-on brutal sword boss fight.
Is it just like, so is the fight one that's like, is actually like tests everything that you learn via the game, or is it just
Not
different?
test everything, because a lot of it is just still the sword play, because Link gets a lot of items. He doesn't even use most of the items for the last boss fight. It's mainly just new mechanics that they bring in for the fight. But I like that because, again, it's just, he puts up an arena, it's just you and him. Now it's on site. It's like, you know what, enough. No more anything. We are selling this here and now. You jump up, you stab him through the stomach, through the scar, because the Master Sword has the ability to kill evil and seal it away. It's literally the sword of evil's bane, and that's one of the reasons Link is so strong. He doesn't get it in every game, but in most games, that's why it's such a big draw, and that's why the Master Sword is one of the most powerful swords in fiction, just because anything in evil, it automatically slays. But you stab him, he gets up, and then he spouts a monologue. He dies standing up. Like, he's just standing up, and he dies standing up. Such a badass.
That reminds me of Record of Ragnarok, where Adam died fighting Zeus, but he dies like this, but like his body was responding to getting punched with a punch. And he died like approximately maybe like 5 minutes before the fight actually ended.
Dang.
So every time Zeus hit him, his body instinctively was just punching. And so you just got...
So it was just like, I know there's a word for it where like a body will keep moving even after it's dead. And I think it's just one of those things, like his body was just still reacting to that.
Yeah.
Like he toned his instincts so much to where even if he's dead, yeah, he's still fighting. He's still hands.
Yeah, it's like that's the first thing I thought of when you were saying.
Is that a show or is that a game?
It's a show. It's called Record of Ragnarok on Netflix. If y'all got it, it is very backstory heavy. Like so if there's 4 episodes, 2 of those episodes are explaining both characters fighting backstory.
I think Kiwi Wee wants out. Just have it open just a smidge.
Or just their toy.
Yeah. But anyway, what's another boss fight you got cooking up?
Another boss fight.
You wanted out just to want back in. What? You're such a silly girl.
So spoiled. But another fight. Honestly, it was really hard to narrow it down. But
because I know most games you play don't have a lot of boss fights.
Yeah, I was heavy into shooters, and like they have important characters, like you stated. But the best boss fight in like Halo, you're on a guy's chair punching him to death while guitar riffs are going off, and that's like comically hilarious. But if I had to narrow it down, the game I'm choosing is Scarlet Blade. It's Stellar Blade.
Scarlet Blade.
The character in selection is Scarlet. It is another character from a sequel shift up. Not a sequel, but it's a different shift up game called Nikke.
Impressed. I'll give it everything I've got.
Character plus 12. Okay, we don't go to 11, straight 12. Put it on extreme. If you survive, you deserve the platinum. I'm just sorry. It's
So she's an optional boss?
she's a DLC boss. And
technically optional.
Yeah, kind of. Like if you play the DLC, she's gonna be you can choose to fight her at max power, or like there's story her, and then there's after content her. After content her belt to every butt cheek. On all of us.
BTA built the ass.
Absolutely. Because it's merciless. Like, you thought the final boss of Stellar Blade was hard, and you saw me play that. I was over there going...
Yeah, it's just like, you blitzed through that game, so... you blitzed through that game like I blitzed through Bloodborne. And I'm just like, wait a minute, you were here, now you're here. What?
Yeah, like,
I never played it. I wanted it to. It's just, at the time, I didn't have the funds or the time to really get into it like I wanted to. Plus, other games were coming out at the time.
Yeah.
So I chose to pass over that. I do want to get back to it, but I never played it myself outside of the demo.
It is most boss fights. So the interesting thing about Stellar Blade is that every boss fight is pushing the mechanic they introduce in that stage, or whatever new mechanic is introduced in whatever new stage. Like the first one, they introduce you on how to use your little robot as a gun, right? So the main boss is, and you're working on your dodges, what to dodge, what not to dodge, and the weak point if you successfully parry and counterattack them. Because when you successfully parry and counterattack the like biological enemies, a little spore will pop up that tells you, "Hey, weak spot, hit it really hard."
That's just basic video game 101. Especially that's what most Legend of Zelda games were. Like, big, obvious weak spot. Like, here's this big, intimidating boss. Hey, here's a glowing weak spot. Hit that, and then eventually you'll win.
Yeah, because most of the enemies are based off of animals. So, for example, like there's a giant gorilla cladded in silver minerals, or we'll say. And after you hit his weak point, the little bubble thing like pops out of a random orifice on chest or head, because his head's also a buzzsaw for some reason. And you're just like, he's over here like, shoot me, and you just abuse it.
That's what most boss fights do, especially nowadays, because that's what most boss fights like to do is like, hey, here's an obvious weak point, you hit it, then usually they get downed, and then there's an obvious spot on them. Kind of like in Resident Evil Requiem, where most boss fights, you down them, and then you have to hit them with a tomahawk in some way. What?
Sorry, you said Requiem funny.
Requiem?
You said Wequam?
Wackwam?
Wequam?
Hey, can I play Wackwam? I want to play some Wacom too. It's too scary for you to say, no, it isn't.
Some Batman Wacom City? No. What is that?
Hey, speaking of which, are you done with your point?
Yeah, absolutely. Because worst case, all I have to say is like, it was just one of them games that was just really challenging to like test to see, hey, bro, did you beat this game? Like, did you beat the game and learn the game? Or did you just beat the game on like, give me like the difficulty where it's like, you're not.
Yeah, it's one of those games on difficulty, it's like probably super easy, but on all other ones, like, no, you need to learn these mechanics.
Yeah,
you need to be very in tune with it.
There's layers to this, brother.
Speaking of which, a boss fight that very much does that, he kind of spoke on it from Arkham City, Mr. Freeze.
Oh,
I believe I do. You will bring me Nora, or you will die.
In the same way, so when you come around and stealth attack him, then he makes it to where now he has a camera behind him, and you can no longer get behind him. You can use his own technology to disarm him, but again, he reprograms it to where he can. You can glide attack him to get him down, but then you know what he does? He lets out, like, he does boop, 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 and he lets out a cold mist that freezes the air so you can't glide in it anymore. And then if you use, like, most of it is it's a stealth battle. If you use your detective mode, which is how he sees through walls and everything, if you use that too much, he will actively, his technology will sniff it out and disable it. But my original point with how it scales is that on lower ones, you only need to do at least 4 of those. On medium, you need to do at least like 6 or 7. But for the hardest difficulty, you need to do all of the stealth takedowns that Batman has, minus 2. There are always 2 that you never have to do. And I forget one of them. One of them, I know for some reason, he's weak to where you use the zip line. And he zip lines towards him and kicks him. For some reason, he's weak to that, but I forget what another one is that you don't have to do that I never do. Like I said, there are so many you can do. There's water on the ground. You can press the button, boo, electrify him, and hit him. You can take a glass, get him. You can explode a wall and do it. But a lot of that is just stuff that he'll learn from, and then you can't do it before because in some way he'll freeze it to where you can't do it anymore.
Okay. So but when you break through a wall or make the bat sign gel that explodes. How does he freeze that?
Well, he freezes all other ones he comes across, and the ice is so thick that you can't break through it anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Because he apparently changes he can change the density of his own ice beam.
Oh, so it's kind of like how what's his name from X-Men, the beam guy,
Cyclops?
Yeah,
he can
like,
control how powerful it is.
Yeah, it's like that in a way. It's kind of funny because now you mentioned that your dude being cold, and there's a GIF going around on my next pick actually, because he's a toothpaste model kinda. And every GIF shows him like shining with his teeth because he's iced like that. You feel me? No, I'm sorry, that was a bad transition. But my next pick is Jetstream Sam from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
This is between us.
The king, the Colgate ambassador himself.
Isn't that the president?
No, I think the president's name is Armstrong.
Oh yeah, President Armstrong.
And like he does that thing where he basically has hockey from One Piece, where his body just turns black and it's like super strong because it's powered by nanobots.
Oh yeah, it looks like all of his like chest and everything looks like muscle fibers, but the muscle fibers look like, like some sort of carbon tubing or something like that.
Yeah, and it's like that. Arguably, the most entertaining final boss you'll like ever fight.
I know it's not I know this dialogue isn't from the game, but one of my favorites is like when Raiden is like, "Hey, that's nice, Senator, but how about you back it up with a source?" And he goes, "The source is I made it the fuck up."
Valid. That is funny because I actually just recently started playing it on my computer, and I forgot actually. I'm talking about Jetstream. That he actually destroys you when you first encounter him because like you're Raiden, super cyborg. I'm so bad. You can't fuck with me. You can't mess with me. I'm so bad. And he's like Raiden's over here just like doing all that, and Sam's over here just like, "Hey, cabrón, that was cool, but watch this." He literally has a 50 caliber on his sword so he can just shoot it to draw it faster. And he lops your arm off and cuts out your eye. And afterwards you get all blacked out chrome Raiden.
So basically he pulls a Wolverine where he gets his ass whooped by his brother and then he comes back with metal claws.
Basically, and like he's not actually his brother, but he's the mirror of Raiden. Like Raiden is XY or X in Jetstream is Y. Like they're the same coin but opposite sides.
If he's Y, then who's what?
Exactly. That's Blade Wolf.
Bad joke.
That's Blade Wolf.
Blad Wolf?
Yeah.
There's Blade Wolf, then there's Blood Wolf.
Dead.
Mom, I want to play with Blade Wolf. We have Blade Wolf at home. Blood Wolf.
Why is he Jamaican?
Anyway, your original point.
The final fight between Jetstream and Raiden is like it's one of those symbolic fights where it's a clash of ideologies. Like, hey, this is the final stand. Either you gonna make it or I'm gonna make it. But hear me like this. If you make it, you get my sword. If I make it, you get my sword. You're gonna carry on my philosophy.
You just said you get my sword twice.
I know, but it was like that's both of them. Like Raiden and Sam.
I thought you were talking about from the same character. Like I win, like you win, you get my sword. I win, you get my sword. It's like, how's that work?
That would be kind of stupid, wouldn't it? And it's really funny actually because they set it up as like a Western standoff with the whole hay barrel going between them, and they're over here is like this. Any ounce of movement, if you move wrong, if I see that muscle twitch, you're dead. And I was like, it wasn't difficult. No, on hard, it's extremely difficult. But if you're playing it on normal, it's actually a very entertaining fight just because like it's like an ideology battle. It's like, hey, who's gonna win that battle? But that's kind of all I got for Sam outside of his Colgate smile.
Yeah, I basically, there's another one. We play Elden Ring. We play it a lot, and one of my absolute favorite boss fights. It's weird, I know. Not a lot of people like this boss fight, but the amount of spectacle he has was not topped for me personally, and it's
Plain as a lord.
perhaps his accent goes,
I command thee.
and I just love that intro where it's just like, nah, man, you ain't shit. Get on your knees.
I like how he's low key a fan of Elemental Hero Flame Wingman.
How?
Fusion Summon! There he is! The elemental hero, Flame Wingman!
The dragon arm.
Yeah. Because that is one of those things that was an absolute spectacle. He was a tough boss fight, and finally get him down on the half health, like, whoa, what's he doing? Because he's like, ah! You think he's charging up an attack. I back up like, whoa, what's happening? And he cuts off his own arm. I'm like, what did you do that? And then it fully understands why he has so many arms on him. It's
He's the grafted.
because then he sees that dragon and he's like, hey, almighty dragon, and the truest of lords, lend me thy strength. Bear witness. And then you're just like, oh. Now the thing is, I know nothing that much about his lore aside from he just takes people's body parts and just adds it to him.
He's also the reason the first boss was born, because he grafted that little girl into that giant creature. That is also a child, by the way. Fun fact, if you didn't know that.
Probably not. I like Bloodborne more. Not Bloodborne. Jesus Christ, they're all blended together. Elden Ring, I like it more for the gameplay, more than I like anything about the lore. The only lore I know is that the queen, she was mad because her son died, and then he went to go find the Elden Ring to supposedly shatter it because she was mad at everyone. And then
the lore is so confusing.
then when she got there, for some reason she turned into Radagon? Why? I don't know. The only thing I can think is that the Elden Ring in the Golden Order is like a being of sentient and just transformed her into a male, because the Elden Ring is within him that you can see. So I think her name's Marikith. I could be wrong about that. But Queen Marikith became Radagon.
All I know is Marikith and Radagon, they have done something no other character.
Radagon is Marikith.
Exactly. They have never gotten. I've never in my days seen a character have a child as a woman, then have children as a man, that get turned into a key.
Yeah.
And then also start a war.
Game of Thrones writer be writing Game of Thrones type weirdness.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't know, George R.R. Martin, he helped write at least the family tree of Elden Ring, which is interesting. I don't know how Godric fits into it. I just love it for the absolute pure spectacle it was, and he just has my favorite moveset within the entire game.
He's like their cousin. He's not even like directly related.
Yes,
to them.
that's why I say in terms of gameplay, in my opinion, he was just my absolute favorite boss to fight, and he always will be.
My absolute favorite is the one with the Morgott, I think is his name, with the toxic sword. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, there's Margit, then there's Morgott.
Yeah, because I think, is it Margit the one with the blood that starts the DLC, but then Morgott is the actual the ruler of the everything.
Hell if I know. Basically, I thought the boss you fight at the beginning and the boss you fight before you find out you can't enter the Erdtree, I thought those were both technically Margit. Just Margit, what he did is he's able to possess normal enemies and basically make a physical spirit of himself for you to fight. That's why in the first phase of that boss fight, he mostly moves the same until he breaks his wooden cane and that becomes an actual poison sword. Excuse me.
That's arguably my favorite boss, design-wise too, because he's just so clean.
Me, I don't know. There's just something about him I was never that big of a fan of. That's why Godric, I always like him, but There's another one. If you don't mind me going twice in a row.
No, you're good.
My absolute favorite boss fight from any video game ever is from my favorite game of all time ever, Bloodborne, and that Ludwig the Accursed. And yes, I do put it on an accent when I say that.
Okay.
Because my absolute favorite, and we'll probably put a clip of it in just because I love this boss fight so much. You go in, there's just a giant pile of corpses, and with like a river of blood that's just flowing down. And who's at the top? Who's at the source of it? Us. And you see this weird horse man thing with another mouth that has a bunch of eyes in it. And then he lets out. I know some people don't like the way he screams because it sounds weird, but I always like that because he's just, a mangled monstrosity. So him going like demonstrates. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't do the impression right.
It was the facial expressions you made while doing it, and it really just struck the chord, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
But yeah, he does that, and it's just like, yeah, he is a monstrosity. And my favorite thing is while you're fighting him, you can basically halfway. The whole idea is that you knock him down after hitting him so many times, and then you basically knock some sense into him. You knock him back to the human form he was. Not only that, but in the pile of the flesh that you're fighting him in there is his holy moonlight sword. Man, I'm stirring all over the place. Let me retrace. You find his holy moonlight sword. Shut up. You find his holy moonlight sword, and then he has a whole thing where he's like, you were at my side all along, my true mentor, my guiding moonlight. And then he just starts shooting moonblasts. And you're just like, oh my God. And the music, it has a full orchestra going, and it just sounds like two blades just clashing the whole time. It's such an epic feeling.
Yeah, okay.
Because
I mess with it.
Mm-hmm. Because then, it's my favorite boss fight. I have never fought him at his true full form, right? Where it's just like his full potential, like in a while. When he first came out, yeah, I died to him like crazy. Now you've seen with my current builds, the fight lasts like less than 10 seconds, minus the cutscenes. And I know you've seen me do it, right? Or I just come in, I'm like, hey buddy, how you doing? And then eventually he gets knocked down. He's like, you were at my side all along, my guiding moonlight. And then I go in, dodge the first beam, boom, 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 stick my hand in him, and hit him back. And he goes, oh, and he dies. I'm like, good fight, buddy.
Quote. Because that's exactly what you said when you actually killed him, too.
My favorite is, I joke about it a lot, but I say that Lady Maria is my waifu. Like not only is she the woman of the relationship, she's also the man, and you will be forced to like it. So my favorite thing is I can finish that boss fight, don't laugh, in less than 15 seconds.
The don't laugh made me laugh more.
But I know, that's kind of the point. But I go into her boss fight now because I died to her about as much times as you died to her. But then I come in, I'm like, hey babe, how you doing? And then she's dead. I'm like, good fight, babe.
That's insane.
I know, right? Now, let's round it out. One more of your favorite. What is your absolute favorite boss fight that you've ever fought? Like some that
If I had, honestly, okay, so I'm gonna throw a curveball at everybody, including you, for the last point. Simple as this: my favorite all-time boss fight is every boss fight in the Naruto Storm series because it's always all of them are equally entertaining. Though if I have to pinpoint one exactly, it's gonna be the final one in Storm 1 and the final one in Storm 4, just because it just recaps everything, like the importance of Naruto and Sasuke's.
I think I played a demo of one of the Ninja Storm games, and it's one where you fought the giant frog dude, and then he just punches him in the head, which didn't hurt him, but then Naruto just like passes out on his back like, how'd I do? And then a frog guy just rubs his forehead. It didn't hurt, but he like, I admire that. Not bad, kid.
Yeah, that was Gamabunta from Storm 1.
That is something I like, and something I wish more games would implement, and that is more just like more giant boss fights, kind of like with Shadow of the Colossus, where they become they're kind of part of the level, or they're part of the boss fight, like a big spectacle, like some games we won't mention fail to do, but every game from Ninja Storm,
Yeah,
or every boss fight,
but specifically, Naruto and Sasuke final fight from when they were kids and final fight in like Shippuden. So it'd be the one where they lost each other like their respective arms. And then when Sasuke grew hand wings.
Question: Why did they fight like that? But was there any reason, or was it just to test their skills?
What do you mean?
Like the final fight where they like end up on the moon and like crack the moon in half and lose their arms.
They didn't end up on the moon. They just ended up on a different statue's head.
Oh no, I thought they ended up on a moon because I remember there was a feat where Naruto's power was so crazy it cracked the moon in half.
Oh, he was fighting a descendant of an Otsutsuki.
Oh, is that?
That was a movie.
Oh, wasn't that like a chakra god lady thing?
That was actually her nephew. And his name is Toniri, by the way.
I know he fought like the lady god thing because he used a sexy jutsu to have a bunch of men, and Sakura was like, Naruto, you block hit, that won't work. And then you see she blushes enough for Naruto to come in and just Sakura, and then Sakura's like, that worked.
That's actually in the game too, as a quick time event to finish her off. It's so funny because you can fail it and succeed it, and that's one of the also mini games where if you fail a QT, it actually like shows you failing it and it affects you negatively, unlike Spider-Man, where you automatically succeed even if you fail. So I think that'd have to wrap it up, honestly. It's like there's just so many good fights you can do.
Because I'm surprised you never mentioned anything from like Sekiro, but one of the few Souls games that you beat yourself.
Well, the only one I would think of recommending is the Demon of Hatred, and I never fought him.
I've never fought him legitimately. I've always done the like thing where you get him caught behind a tree, you climb up, and then basically you get on a scaffolding to force him to follow you to where he falls off.
Yeah,
I've never fought him legitimately.
That'd be the only boss. I guess the final fight, Lord of Sheen, but no, Demon of Hatred is probably the actual final boss because he's
an optional boss. He's an optional boss that you don't ever have to face. So I wouldn't
but
call.
if you actually do face him, depression.
Yeah. I would say my favorite from that would probably be the Great Ape because it's just so satisfying. It's so satisfying when you think you killed him and then suddenly he comes back to life. Now the boss fight I hate is the one with his girlfriend. Where
I feel so bad in that fight because I just spam firecrackers and just hit the little spinny attack, and I'm just like, oh, sorry guys.
Well, yeah, mainly because I think that one's kind of, a little bit of boo-boo because you can't really control what the other one does. One of them, they'll stagger when you do the firecracker, but the gorilla won't because he's got no head. There's nothing to stagger him with. So, in my opinion, I don't like that because, again, it's kind of on the FromSoft side where it's kind of a little bit of bullshit because you just can't ever react to two people at once sometimes because the game's not really built for that. But anyway, that's one of them. I guess I'll be like an honorable mention between us.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. That's a solid honorable mention. Jesus.
So, those are our opinions on some boss fights we like. Oh, what are some boss fights you like? Maybe leave them down in the comments. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll give a further discussion. Hell, maybe we'll do a part 2 of this because we just love talking about our bosses.
We can talk about, but
Oh, we could talk about bosses for ages.
I don't know about ages, but maybe like another video for sure. Although, you know, we have our goal. We're trying to try to get this to 5 likes, and we'll hopefully see you guys next time.
All right. Hey, bye guys. Make sure like, save, and subscribe. I almost forgot it. Bye-bye.